It's training camp season, and today we're looking at the Baltimore Ravens, and we're going to get a good look at LaJohntay Wester, see what he's doing on the field, watch him catch some balls, work through some drills. But before we dig in, you need to click that subscribe button right now. We're covering all the rookie camp clips from your favorite teams. On top of that, soon minicamp and OTAs, and then training camp down the road. If you want to see what your players are doing behind the scenes, especially those rookies, click that button. Stop missing out. I got more coming at you. More teams are going to fire up camp this weekend, but we're looking at LaJohntay Wester. So what we do always is we'll run through the clips, and then we'll loop them and keep talking ball. 1 minute and 35 seconds of clips here. So this is going to be very interesting to see here. We're going to see him catch some punts and kick returns as well. Work on some special teams. Work on some route running. There we go. In and out of the break. There we are again. Looking solid. Here's another one. And again, more special teams. Special teams is going to be huge for him. For him being a late round wide receiver going to this depth chart, that's where he could carve out a role early. There he is, catching a ball downfield. Here's another one. More special teams. Special teams is going to be huge. It's going to be huge for him starting off. It's going to be huge for LaJohntay Wester. This is a wide receiver I like throughout the process. This is a wide receiver that's a big steal for the Ravens. I knew he was going to go late, but I knew he was going to be a steal for whoever drafts him. Seems like a Raven type of player. And why I say that is this is a guy coming out of high school when recruited, was like a 0-star player, was hardly recruited, went to FAU, and just had to climb the ladder to get on the field and be productive. We had back-to-back 700-yard seasons there, then a 1,000-yard season, then we transferred to Colorado, second on the team when it comes to production, right behind Travis Hunter. Then after that, all-star game circuit at the Shrine Game. At the Shrine Game, during the practices, we were one of those players making waves, getting headlines about us because we were unguardable. Unguardable during the Shrine Game. And what he is a very twitched-up wide receiver with good route running. He's a guy that puts in the work. He's a guy that when he was counted out, just kept grinding. And then we're at FAU, we climbed the ladder there, becoming very productive. And then we go to Colorado and we prove ourselves. We fall in the draft, but he fell in high school recruiting, and we got here. And if you're looking for late round dart throws or UDFAs to root for, this is a guy to root for. Because he was an afterthought, but kept working, kept grinding to get to this point, to where he started from. The odds were severely stacked against him to get to this point. If I'm a Ravens fan watching this, and if you're looking for a camp guy to pay attention to root for, because that's the one thing about training camp. You find those guys on the back end of your depth chart, and you root for them. That's the fun thing about that. You try to read the little blurbs about them and everything. Here you go. Here you go. I know a lot of you guys watch me for fantasy football. Here's my take. He's going to be a UDFA or like one of the last picks of rookie drafts, depending on how deep your rookie draft is. He's one of those players. Now, the word surprise is in there. Like, he could surprise you down the road. He has the potential to do that. The reason why it's a surprise, he's a late-round pick. Odds are stacked against late-round picks, and to be good in fantasy football, you got to be one of the top wide receivers in the league. Or a wide receiver that can give you splash production. He has the potential, considering what he's done throughout his career, from not being recruited really to going to FAU, carving out a role there, to being very productive, to going to Colorado and being very productive, torching people at the Shrine practices, to now, same thing, not highly sought after again, and now it's time to prove ourselves. Maybe over time we exceed expectations. And maybe that's just being a role player on the team. Maybe that's catching 30 balls, running routes. Maybe not great for fantasy, but great for the Ravens. Maybe better on special teams. Maybe it's that. But honestly, it's a player to root for nonetheless, football-wise, because this is a player that came from the bottom and worked his way up. And you don't see that too often. You see it in the back end of drafts, but also in the back end of drafts, there's guys from prestigious schools that just honestly did not live up to their expectations. But since they had the expectations coming out of high school, they were a starter at their Power 5 program, the talent was saturated, they fall. This guy, though, he's twitched up. He's got some goods to his game. He's got enough goods to where that could allow him to climb the depth chart over time. That's what I'm saying. He's got goods to his game that could allow him to climb the depth chart. A surprise player that could happen for the Ravens down the road. Like maybe you have some contract disputes or something with some wide receivers, or he starts flashing a little bit. He could flash for you later on down the road. Very detailed route runner, very twitched up, has proven he can go from one program to another and instantly become a featured player, instantly become productive. He's proven that. He's proven definitely to be a hard worker, to be a grinder, to put in that time to get better. And he's probably going to get better from here. So you're honestly not just drafting the player now or what we saw in college. You also got the player that you're going to have in the future, because Lester has gotten better throughout his career. He's proven that. He's proved all the doubters wrong. The doubters, coaches of college programs, scouts, he's proved them all wrong. He's proved them all wrong, and he might do it some more. But is that a bet I'm trying to make? The odds are stacked against him still. But if you're looking for camp bodies or late round picks or guys in training camp to watch, this is one of the guys to watch. This is one of the guys to watch. Very humble kid, very good in interviews, very good player, very good person. Ravens did smart drafting this player. This is a typical Raven-esque player. Multifaceted player, multifaceted wide receiver. Lunch pail kid for sure. Lunch pail kid. And when I think about a player like this and his characteristics, I do think Ravens. I'm not surprised. I should have thought that out before, like fit-wise. Like, that would be a player the Ravens would go after. That would be. And maybe over time, he just becomes a role player. And you're like, Bruce, he's just a role player. He's fourth on the depth chart. He's catching 15 to 30 balls a year. And I'm going to be like, well, he's stuck on the depth charts. He stayed in the league. And this is a player that fought for every rep he's got. And I'm proud of him. Honestly, this is a player I've been watching throughout the process. If you've been watching my channel and you hear me talk about Wester, he's a player, that's the type of players I root for. As these late round picks, these guys that have everything stacked against them. There's a player to every draft that you just got to root for. That's either come back from an injury, you're cast aside. That's the type of thing I like about football. That's why I look at these camps. That's why I look at training camp and watch some of these late round players. I'm fascinated about them. I root for them. I know the odds are stacked against them, but still, that's the fun part about football. It's the fun part about watching these players, watching these teams, how they build their depth charts. It's fun. Every so often, you find one that you like a lot, and you just watch them throughout their career, and it gives you something to do in the summer. It gives you something to do. You should probably start doing that too. Just start watching some of these late-round UDFA guys and watch whatever they do in training camp. I guarantee you, you'll like your summer football schedule a lot better when you do that. That's probably my biggest piece of advice to you is find players like this. Just find their storyline, follow that storyline, and just watch them throughout the off seasons. Watch them. You know the odds are stacked against them. That's what makes it fun. That's why you root for these guys. Let me know what you think, though, in the comments below. I want to hear about that. Make sure to hit that subscribe button on the way out. One thing for watching. Catch you on the next video.